Hello and welcome to this episode of RPGGamer Top 5s, and this time we're going to do the top 5 RPGs on the Nintendo Wii. The Wii, which according to the official style guide should just be called the Wii, although it is commonly and unofficially called the Nintendo Wii, is a home video game console released by Nintendo on November the 19th, 2006. As a 7th generation console, the Wii competed with Microsoft's Xbox 360 and Sony's PlayStation 3. As of the first quarter of 2016, the Wii led its generation over the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 in worldwide sales, with more than 101 million units sold. In December 2009, the console broke the sales record for a single month in the United States. The Wii introduced the Wii Remote Controller, which can be used as a handheld pointing device and detects movements in 3 dimensions. And it succeeded the GameCube, with early models fully backwardly compatible with all GameCube games and most of the accessories. The Wii was based around an older but more economical generation of hardware, so wasn't considered as cutting edge compared to the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. Being built around a PowerPC based Broadway processor clocked at 729 MHz, an ATI Hollywood GPU clocked at 243 MHz. It has 88 MB of main memory and 24 MB of graphics memory, with 64 MB of external GDDR3 SD RAM. Capable of putting out a 480i definition image or a 768i in the PAL regions. Software can be downloaded from the Virtual Console and stored in the system's 512MB built-in NAND flash memory. The Wii's successor, the Wii U, was released on November 18, 2012, and on October 20th, 2013, Nintendo confirmed it had discontinued production of the Wii in Japan and Europe. And with that, let's go on with the countdown. At number 5, Tales of Symphonia Dawn of the New World by Namco in 2008 with 48 votes. Tales of Symphonia Dawn of the New World is a role-playing video game developed by Namco Tales Studios and published by Namco Bandai for the Wii as a spin-off and sequel to Tales of Symphonia for the Nintendo GameCube and PlayStation 2. During the events of the first game, Lloyd Irving and his companions embarked on a journey that led to the merging of the twin worlds of Silverant and Tethe'alla. After the lands became one, however, maps were rendered useless and the climate went through many vast changes. Desert towns became frozen wastelands and lakes dried up into valleys. All of this stems from an overlooked factor in the unification of the worlds. And to complicate matters further, tensions have quickly escalated between the people of the two worlds. The Tethe'allans look down upon the Sylvantri due to their inferior technology, and the Sylvantri fear the Tethe'allans for their power. As the game starts, 2 years have passed since the worlds were first merged, and Sylvantri dissidents have created an insurgency, known variously as the Sylvantri Liberation Front and the Vanguard, with which to rise against the Church of Martel and the Tethe'allans. And at number 4, Ark-Rise Fantasia by Marvelous in 2010, with 50 votes. Ark-Rise Fantasia is set in the world of Fulheim, a fictional large region of Earth. Creatures called fell dragons are causing a lot of trouble as they pass the Meridian Empire in flocks. If one is killed, the resulting explosion poisons the local area. When the Empire receives word that a massive horde has set its sights on the capital of Diamond, it immediately sends out an army to fight them, including La'Ark, a cool and collected novice mercenary, and his friend Alf, the beloved prince and second in line for the throne. Much of the game is exploring the world and its dungeons, some of which are puzzle-based, as the player listens to the story told. The conversations in the game are presented in the style resembling visual novels with character portraits. At the game's heart is its combat system, which is that of turn-based role-playing game. The player and enemy both move and fight during the same phase of battle, but the turn order is determined by the actions taken. Parties usually consist of 3 characters, who share a single action point gauge, which empties as various actions are performed. During certain parts of the game, however, the active team may actually be made up of 4 members instead of 3, although the 4th can only be controlled by the game's AI. The game is also compatible with the GameCube controller, as well as the classic controller. And at number 3, Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn by Nintendo in 2007, with 118 votes. Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn is a tactical role-playing game developed by Intelligent Systems and published by Nintendo for the Wii. It is the 10th entry in the Fire Emblem series, and acts as a direct sequel to the 2005 GameCube title, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. It was released in 2007 in Japan and North America and 2008 in Europe and Australia. Radiant Dawn's plot begins in the war-torn nation of Dien, with the main character Mika and her allies, the Dawn Brigade, who are rebelling against the oppressive Bignion occupational army. The story is divided into 4 parts, and changes perspective between different factions within the continent of Tellius. The gameplay is similar to Path of Radiance and previous Fire Emblem titles, with units moving across a grid-based map in turn-based battles, and characters unrelated to the core plot being subject to permanent death if defeated. Radiant Dawn began development in 2005 for the Wii after the success of Path of Radiance, continuing the trend of developing for home consoles after a period on portable devices. It was intended to release close to the Wii hardware's release, as to boost sales for both game and hardware. And Radiant Dawn has been positively received by critics, many of whom criticised only the game's high difficulty. Most of the Path of Radiance cast returns, including all of its playable characters except Largo, as well as figures new to Tellius. Data from a completed Path of Radiance save file can be transferred to Radiant Dawn via a Nintendo GameCube memory card, leading to buffed characters in play. And at number 2, The Last Story by Mistwalker in 2011, with 162 votes. The Last Story is a Japanese action role-playing game developed by Mistwalker and AQ Interactive for the Wii. Nintendo published the title in all regions except for North America, where it was published by Xseed Games. Initially released in Japan in 2011, the game was released in Western territories through 2012. The Last Story takes place upon the island fortress of Lazulus, in a world that is slowly being drained of life by an unknown force. The story focuses on a group of mercenaries looking for work on Lazulus. One of their number, Zale, dreams of becoming a knight. After receiving the mystical Mark of the Outsider, Zale becomes involved with a noblewoman named Callista in an ongoing war between humans and the beast-like Gorak. During gameplay, the player controls Zale as he and the mercenary group to which he belongs undertake missions on Lazulus. Zale can command the rest of this mercenary squad during missions, and fights in battles that involve action, tactical and stealth elements. The game also includes multiple online multiplayer modes. And at number 1, Xenoblade Chronicles by Monolith Soft in 2010, with 339 votes. Xenoblade Chronicles is the first entry in the Xenoblade Chronicles series, a sub-series which forms part of the Xeno meta-series, although no direct narrative connections exist to previous Xeno games. It incorporates aesthetic and narrative elements from both fantasy and science fiction. The game features navigation through an open world split into zones, side quests tied to party members' affinity, and a real-time action-based battle system which incorporates the main character's ability to see glimpses of the future. Xenoblade Chronicles takes place on the frozen bodies of 2 warring titans, the Bionis and the Mechonis. The people of Bionis, including human-like Homs, are in a perpetual war with the Mechon machine race and Mechonis. Key to the Homs' efforts in fighting against the Mechon army is the Monado, a sword that is said to have been wielded by the Bionis. During an attack on his colony, the main protagonist, Shulk, discovers his ability to wield the Monado and sets out on a quest for revenge with his best friend Rin, with others joining in as the game progresses. Xenoblade Chronicles plays out as an action RPG, where the player controls one character out of a party of 3, using the Wii Remote and Nunchuk, or the classic controller. Battles in Xenoblade Chronicles play out in real time, where the player manually moves the lead character, and party members will auto-attack when enemies enter their attack radius. Special attacks called arts may also be performed by the player, but in a limited fashion. Winning battles earns the player experience points, which allows the characters to grow stronger by leveling up and learning new arts. The arts for each character must be set by the player on their respective setup, called a battle palette. So that's it for our list of the top 5 RPGs on the Nintendo Wii. So what do you think? Because although I had a Wii, I have to admit I never played any of these RPGs. Did you? Or were there any others you loved which didn't make our list? Please let us know your thoughts in the comments below, or by getting in touch through email or the website. Anyway, as always, many thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like what we're doing, but most of all, you look after yourselves, and we'll catch you later. Bye!